I was making coffee for myself when my wife walked in and said I told you so. I was confused and asked her what she was talking about. She then pointed out that I had made it wrong and should have made a latte or a cappuccino. I was confused and frustrated. I had just finished making coffee, but now my wife was telling me that I had made it wrong. She seemed so sure of herself, but I couldn't figure out what she was talking about. She explained to me that the sugar should be on the inside of the mug, not on top of the coffee grounds. This is because when you put milk in your coffee, it will dissolve the sugar instead of just sitting on top of it, she said. I was annoyed that she would correct me after I had already made the coffee, so I told her that she was wrong. I mean, have you completely lost your mind? But I poured out my coffee saying that my coffee didn't taste right to me anyway. Not because I did it wrong. We went back and forth for a few minutes about whether or not the sugar should be on top or inside of the mug, but eventually decided to both just enjoy our coffee without any sugar. She kept talking about coffee. I had no idea what she was talking about, so I told her that I agreed with her because I didn't want to argue. You never make coffee, she said to me. I always do it. That's not true, I replied. I make coffee all the time. No, you don't, she countered. You just think you do. I thought about it for a second and realized that she was right. I never actually made coffee. In fact, as far as I can remember, my wife has always made my morning cup of joe. I quickly shook it off, falling safely back into my delusions. Determined to show her what's what, I set out to prove that I can make this coffee. But the coffee maker has a lot of buttons on it, and it can be confusing to know which button does what, especially for those who are not familiar with the device. The most common ones are for making a cup of coffee, or for turning the machine on or off. The problem is that there are so many different buttons that you can accidentally press the wrong one. I kept pushing the buttons and it wasn't working. I pushed, poked, banged and grunted, yet nothing made it work. I shouted to the heavens, "Why won't it work?" My wife said, "Show me." I repeated the process over and over with repeated failure. She looked at me like I was the crazy one. "You're doing it wrong." That was ridiculous. Can she not see what I am doing here? I puffed up like an inflatable lawn ornament. I stared into her soul with a straight face and shouted, "I'm not just working the coffee maker. I am the damn coffee maker." I raised my arms as if accepting victory from the gods. I gave her the stink eye and enjoyed my win, but then my look of contempt shifted to shock and surprise when I realized the truth. That's when I realized that she had been right all along. I did do it wrong. The realization gnawed at my ego like a hungry animal. My wife is usually wrong about things, but this time she was right. She always tells me to pay attention to the details and think about what I'm doing, but I don't always listen to her. This time, though, she was right about something important, and it made me think twice about what she says in the future. Thanks for watching.